Think you know everything about the human mind? Think again. In today's video, we're uncovering some of the strangest and most bizarre psychological disorders you probably haven't heard of. Conditions so unusual they sound like they belong in a sci-fi movie rather than real life. Before we get into these mind-twisting disorders, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the weird and wonderful world of psychology. The human brain is one of the most complex mysteries out there, and sometimes it can malfunction in ways that are truly shocking. From rare conditions that alter perception to disorders that blur the line between reality and fantasy, these 10 psychological disorders will blow your mind and show just how strange our minds can be. Let's get started. 10. Cotard syndrome, walking corpse syndrome. Imagine believing you're already dead, your organs are rotting, or you simply don't exist. People with Cotard syndrome experience exactly these delusions, convinced they're walking corpses despite all evidence to the contrary. First identified by neurologist Jules Cotard in 1880, this rare condition often emerges following severe trauma or as a complication of other psychiatric disorders. In extreme cases, patients may stop eating, believing they no longer need food, or frequent cemeteries, feeling more connected to the deceased than the living. The condition reveals how fragile our sense of physical existence truly is, as even basic self-awareness can be dramatically altered by neurological disturbances in the brain regions responsible for recognizing ourselves. 9. Alien hand syndrome. Imagine your hand moving with its own will, grabbing objects, unbuttoning your clothes, or even striking you, all without your consent or control. Patients with alien hand syndrome experience one of their hands acting autonomously, often performing complex actions that directly oppose their intentions. This disturbing condition typically results from brain surgery, particularly corpus callosotomy, which separates the brain hemispheres, stroke, or degenerative brain conditions. The afflicted hand literally feels foreign to the patient, creating the terrifying sensation of being partially controlled by an external force. Some patients develop elaborate coping mechanisms, from physically restraining the rebellious hand to speaking to it, as though it were a separate entity, highlighting the fragmented nature of what we experience as unified consciousness. 8. Clinical lycanthropy. In this extremely rare psychiatric condition, individuals genuinely believe they can transform, or have transformed, into animals. Most commonly, patients report transforming into wolves, hence the name, derived from the mythological werewolf. Though cases involving transformations into dogs, cats, birds, and even bees have been documented. During episodes, patients not only believe in their transformation, but may growl, howl, or move on all fours. Unlike simple delusions, clinical lycanthropy involves a fundamental disruption in body image perception, with patients experiencing genuine sensations of growing fur, elongating teeth, or developing animal limbs. This condition offers a fascinating glimpse into how our brains construct our physical self-image and how fragile that construction can be. 7. Fregoli delusion. Named after Italian actor Leopoldo Frégoli, famous for rapidly changing appearances during performances. This rare delusional disorder causes patients to believe different people are actually the same person in disguise. Someone with Frégoli might insist their doctor, neighbor, and store clerk are all the same individual wearing elaborate disguises or masks to spy on them. Unlike prosopagnosia, face blindness, where patients cannot recognize familiar faces, Frégoli patients over-recognize, finding the same person everywhere. This condition illuminates how our brains normally balance facial recognition with understanding that separate people exist, and how disruption of this process can create a profoundly altered social reality. 6. Apotonophilia, body integrity identity disorder. Some people feel a strong urge to amputate healthy limbs or become paralyzed, seeing their bodies as over-complete. Despite normal limbs, they feel parts don't belong, causing deep distress and risky self-harm. Brain scans show unusual activity, hinting at neurological causes. This challenges how we understand identity and raises tough ethical questions about treatment. 5. Paris syndrome. Each year, approximately 20 Japanese tourists in Paris require psychiatric intervention for severe disappointment, anxiety, hallucinations, and physical symptoms like dizziness and rapid heartbeat. This condition, officially recognized by the Japanese embassy, stems from the extreme contrast between visitors' romanticized image of Paris and the reality they encounter, including cultural differences, language barriers, and ordinary urban problems. The syndrome demonstrates how powerfully cultural expectations shape our perception and how dramatic the psychological impact can be when fantasy and reality collide. While seldom lasting more than a few weeks, the condition requires medical attention and sometimes emergency repatriation. 4. Ekbom syndrome, delusional parasitosis. This condition causes people to believe bugs are under their skin despite no evidence. They feel real itching or crawling and may harm themselves trying to remove the imagined pests. Though mental in origin, it produces physical symptoms, while the person otherwise seems mentally normal. 3. Jerusalem syndrome. Approximately 100 tourists annually arrive in Jerusalem mentally healthy but develop intense religious psychosis after exposure to the holy city. Affected individuals, from various religious backgrounds, suddenly engage in bizarre behaviors like delivering sermons at holy sites, making garments from hotel linens, or proclaiming themselves biblical figures. Most cases resolve spontaneously after leaving Jerusalem, suggesting that the city's profound religious significance can trigger latent psychological vulnerabilities in susceptible individuals. Similar phenomena occur in other spiritually significant locations, like Mecca and India's sacred sites, revealing how cultural and religious expectations can powerfully influence psychological stability in predisposed individuals. 2. Capgras delusion. Imagine suddenly believing your spouse, parent, or child has been replaced by an identical imposter. People with Capgras delusion become convinced their loved ones are duplicates, despite recognizing their identical appearance. Patients might believe the government, aliens, or supernatural forces have substituted replicas for emotional manipulation or surveillance. Research suggests the condition stems from disconnection between facial recognition and emotional response systems. Patients recognize the face, but don't experience the expected emotional connection, leading to the imposter explanation. This condition provides fascinating insights into how our brains integrate visual recognition with emotional response to create our sense of familiarity with loved ones. 1. Wendigo psychosis. Documented primarily among indigenous Algonquian-speaking tribes of North America, this culturally specific disorder manifests as an overwhelming fear of becoming a Wendigo, a malevolent spirit that possesses humans, causing an insatiable hunger for human flesh. Individuals believe they're transforming into these mythological creatures, experiencing hallucinations of ice in their hearts and physical transformations. In severe cases, patients develop actual cannibalistic urges, leading to violent behavior. While skeptics question whether this represents a true psychiatric condition versus cultural reinforcement of taboos, the syndrome highlights how cultural beliefs profoundly shape the manifestation of psychological distress. It demonstrates that mental disorders don't exist independently of cultural context, but emerge from the intersection of biology, psychology, and cultural frameworks. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Also subscribe to our channel before you go. Thanks for watching.